The biggest change you can make to the way your wheel handles is by adding power pads. They let you put down the power, thus the name, accelerate up hills, and of course, brake safely. What's up everyone, I'm Jono, and this is my comparison of the Nylonove Kinetic version 1 and version 2 power pads. Firstly, a big thank you to Nylonove for providing the version 2 for review purposes. The V2s provide a big leap forward in benefits, but firstly, the V1s I bought for my InMotion V11 a while ago, and they served me well. However, I didn't run them in the front because I really liked the sitting and standing ease on the V11. But when I got the Sherman S, the stock power pads were just horrible, so I chucked them over onto that one and it made a huge difference. But I found they were just a little bit small to be effective on such a large wheel. So that's why I was stoked to get the large version 2s. So back to the version 1 power pads, I'd like to just go over the benefits of those, and there's even a few things that are better than the version 2s. So they're a little bit cheaper and a little bit less protruding from the wheel, which helps with sitting and standing.
The main solution is to work my feet out from the pads a little bit to alleviate the strain.
And I think they'd just be fine for a smaller wheel where you don't need as much force to get it going like the Sherman S. However, there were a few issues. I found that the middle of my shin did develop a bruise over time just pressing so hard into them to get the Sherman S up and going. And I also found that these connector pieces could wiggle out a little bit. Plus I had one split on me, and you know, I used it for over a year on my version V11. So it took a few falls and it's twisted up on the shell of the V11 because it has the contour to it. When we come to the V2 kinetic pads, I chose the large non-bite system, and that's because I got the regular Nylonove. I didn't want the bite system Nylonove just so that I have a bit more of a platform for the front of my foot here. And I got the LED options in the rear, so that's pretty cool. They are USB-C rechargeable with a decent runtime, and you can control it with a remote for different patterns and turning it on and off.
Thought I'd better jump in here because the remote has a bit of a process. Firstly, you have to manually turn on each pad with a long press. Then it's activated for the remote, and one remote can control them all. Just mainly the top and bottom buttons to cycle through the modes and go into rest mode.
And when you come to the V2s, the benefits are that there's a bit more contact area, so they're less likely to let go. Plus, they're a bit thicker and plusher, so it's high improvement to the comfort. Oh yeah, that's a lot softer than version 1. That's great. The 3D printing quality is just awesome, no complaints there. And I've noticed the beefed up connections here. I haven't seen any problems with those, with movement or that sort of thing. So I really like that it's articulated so we can twist it to any angle and position it. I was chatting with my friend Tim, and he mix and matches pieces to get a unique fit for jumping, and that's pretty cool. He sent me this video showing how strong the Velcro was, so that's a good little testimonial.
We can't talk about pads without mentioning the other major brands. Firstly, Clark Pads is based in California and have several options, including this Sherman S specific layout. Then the quite popular Grizzler Pads, who are based in Europe, also have lights, bumpers and pads available. More on the costs later.
I haven't had the chance to test other brands of power pads, so I reached out to my buddy John Wall, who has a longer experience with EUCs and power pads. He had this to say: I don't care for the current offerings from Clark Pads. Hard, coarse prints look cheap and feel like plastic. The grizzles aren't for me. The print quality looks good, just feels like it's meant for bare shins, too soft, and I don't care for the curve. Now, everyone's experience is different, and any pads, including DIYs, can be a lot better than the stock offerings from many of these wheels. Now, I only have one real criticism, and that's that the Velcro doesn't come with the holes pre-cut, so it's a little bit tedious to cut out the holes for the Sherman S bolts. But once you get that done, it's not a problem. Also, I was happy enough to test these bumper systems, and once again, you have to cut out the Velcro, which is a little bit tedious, but when one done, I did heat it up with a heat gun just to get the ultimate adhesion, but it'll really stick that way. Happy but sad, I haven't had a chance to test a crash on them, but I can feel that they're tough but have a little bit of give, so I think it'll really help protect the wheel. Plus, you can choose any color you like. And that's one really neat thing about the V2 Kinetic pads, is that the customizer is quite comprehensive on the website and shows you the color options plus what it looks like on your wheel. So as I was ripping up this hill, it just reminded me that there's two acceleration techniques for me, particularly when cornering. There's shins in pads, that's for applying the power while cornering, and I can also lean the knee out of the shin, and I think the Michelin Pilot Street 2 helps with those techniques. Power pads are a big investment, but they really do unlock a lot of performance from these larger wheels and increase safety, stability, that sort of thing.
Here's a full cost breakdown, starting with just the pads, and also my full setup as I've shown in the video, and also a comparison between the major brands. Note the shipping is a big factor, so it might vary where you are. I grabbed a promo code for you guys if you do decide to grab a pair.
When you first get power pads, it's really important to spend some time just adjusting them. And I've got some tips. I think the first one is from Seth Johnson, and that's to use a piece of paper or plastic to help position the pad before you're locking it into the Velcro. Really helps. And also from our local ride group, they've suggested using a paint scraper to free the Velcro to allow the easier adjustment. Great. Cheers everyone, ride safe, and I'll catch you next time.